sauce, preparing a demi-glace, okay, which is basically a secondary sauce, okay. Explain and prepare a glace de viande, and then explain the derivatives of brown sauce. So that's basically what we're going to be doing here, which is fantastic. This is what you want to learn today, yeah? Okay. I'll actually have another DVD on how to work.
The sauces created by a chef are often seen as the best measure of the chef's ability and knowledge. The finest sauces are made with careful attention, using the best available ingredients. They enhance the food for which they are prepared with a pleasing color and appearance, well-balanced flavor, and satisfying texture. In this series of programs, we introduce you to sauces from the classic repertoire and to some of their contemporary variations. You'll see the fundamental techniques from which you can build your own repertoire. This program is devoted to basic brown sauces. They are the foundations for innumerable small sauces, also called derivative sauces. Many culinary terms came from classical French kitchens. We will use commonly accepted terms which may differ from those used in other contexts. A century ago, in the time of the noted French chef Georges Auguste Escoffier, brown sauce typically meant sauce espagnole. Today, brown sauce commonly refers to one of these sauces. You can make any brown sauce derivative or small sauce, such as sauce forestière, from the first three, espagnole, demi-glace, and jus de volaille. Jus rôti refers to the sauce made from the drippings of a roast, such as pan gravy. We will demonstrate the making of these basic brown sauces. Their recipes will appear at the end of the program. Before we begin the techniques for brown sauce, we must talk about one of its essential ingredients, stock. Stocks used for brown sauces are made by simmering bones and meat trimmings, vegetables, and other aromatic ingredients in liquid. These brown stocks derive their color from the effects of browning bones and vegetables. The basic liquid of most brown sauces is brown stock. Students in Certified Master Chef Peter Michael's class learned how to prepare brown veal stock. First, some of the terms involved. Mirepoix is a standard flavoring combination, customarily comprised of 2 parts onion, 1 part carrot, and 1 part celery. Sachet d'épices is a bag of spices. The spices can be varied, but the standard sachet is comprised of parsley stems, dried thyme, bay leaf, and cracked peppercorns bound in a piece of cheesecloth. Garlic is optional. In a well-ordered kitchen, the utensils and ingredients are ready as needed. This is called mise en place, French for put in place. Now, the making of the stock. Brown meaty veal bones in hot oil, either on the stove or in the oven. They should be rinsed and dried well to facilitate browning and to prevent moisture from splattering in the hot oil. Veal bones are from young animals. They provide more of the protein substance called gelatin than the bones of older animals. Gelatin gives the stock its body and viscosity. The meat gives the bones added flavor. To the browned bones, add the appropriate amount of cold water. The bones are just covered by water. By definition, a stock pot is taller than it is wide. Producing good brown stock requires a long cooking time. This batch will simmer a minimum of 6 hours. Raising the temperature slowly releases the impurities and allows them to collect for skimming. Periodically, remove these unwanted materials with a skimmer, the right utensil for the job. To prepare the vegetables before adding them to the stock, brown the mirepoix in hot oil, starting with the onions and carrots. Use the pan in which you roasted the bones. Then add the celery. When the sugars in the vegetables turn brown, it is called caramelization. Now cook out some tomato products. You could use tomato puree or tomato trimmings. Here it is tomato paste. As it cooks, some of its acidity is removed. The term pensée is also used to describe the browning of the tomato paste. Be careful to brown, not burn. stock has been simmering for about 5 hours, add the browned mirepoix and tomato paste. The roasting pan has already been deglazed. That means a liquid has been used to remove the fond, the flavorful brown bits that cling to the bottom of the pan. Add the sachet de piece and secure it for easy removal later. Maintain a simmer for another hour, skimming as needed. A long simmering time is necessary to extract and build up all of the flavors. Cook the stock long enough to achieve the desired flavor, clarity, aroma, body, and color. Strain the stock and it will be ready for use. It is accepted wisdom that the quality of the stock largely determines the quality of the sauce. It is well worth knowing the traditional methods of making stock, but today's chefs have the option of using commercial preparations that are far less time-consuming and as simple as following the directions on the label. The best bases are those which have the same ingredients as stock. Read the ingredient list to verify that salt is not the first and dominant ingredient. This is the sign of an inferior product. Now, Chef Henry Rapp will demonstrate the making of Espagnole, one of the classic brown sauces. To the French chefs of a couple of centuries ago, it was of Spanish origin, which explains its name. Espagnole is made by combining brown stock and roux. Roux is a thickening agent. It is a combination of 60% flour and 40% fat, cooked until it reaches the desired color, in this case, brown. Flour is mixed in with the clarified butter used here. Then it is heated at a moderate temperature for a few minutes, either on the stove or in the oven. The length of heating time determines its color. The longer it is cooked, the darker it becomes. The classic colors of roux are white, pale or blonde, and brown. Traditionally, brown sauces were prepared with brown roux. Now to sauce Espagnole. For his Espagnole, Chef Rapp first browns the mirepoix in hot oil. He tenses the tomato product. Here it is tomato paste, to reduce its acidity and to add to the color of the Espagnole. He cooks out the paste for several minutes. The brown stock is then ladled in. The whole mixture is transferred to a stock pot and brought to a simmer. Some of the hot stock is whisked into the prepared roux, which is cooler than the stock. This intermediate step makes it easier to incorporate the roux into the sauce mixture. Add the roux gradually. Simmer the sauce for 2 to 3 hours. As the sauce simmers, the heat makes the liquid circulate, a process known as convection. Offset the pot slightly so that the impurities can collect to one side. Skim them as necessary. A standard sachet is added to simmer for the last hour of cooking time. Cook until the Espagnole achieves the desired thick gravy-like consistency. Remove the sachet bag before straining. The sauce may be strained through a fine mesh sieve, or use the milking method of straining. Dampen a piece of cheesecloth to compress the loose threads. Place the cloth over a mixing bowl. The weight of a spoon will assist the action of milking. 2 people then hold the ends of the cloth over a large mixing bowl and rock it gently. Espagnole can be refined into the sauce known as demi-glace. The basic brown sauce is cooked to a superior state with rich, well-balanced flavor, taste, and consistency. Demi-glace means half-glazed. It lends itself well to the making of many small sauces. Demi-glace is made with equal parts of Espagnole and brown veal stock. Combine Espagnole and brown stock in one pot and reduce the combination by half. This means that 1/2 of the original quantity will be left in the pot as a result of the evaporation of the moisture through cooking, a process called reduction. Reducing the liquid will intensify the flavor of the sauce. Simmering constantly and skimming as needed will eliminate any floury texture or flavor. The amount of reduction now depends on the desired final consistency and flavor. Check the sauce periodically. This sauce needs further reduction. After reducing by about half, the sauce should have the right strength and taste. It should have a glossy appearance and a rich flavor. Do not underestimate the importance of tasting and refining your sense of taste. After straining the sauce, your demi-glace should taste good enough to serve as is. Demi-glace is the ideal medium to compound with other ingredients to create a variety of small sauces. For instance, sauce bordelaise. Chef Rapp will demonstrate how to make this derivative sauce from demi-glace. This finishing technique calls for a wine reduction. Combine red wine, minced shallots, coarsely ground pepper, bay leaf, and thyme in a saucepan. Simmer and reduce the volume by 3/4. Now add the demi-glace. Reduce the sauce until it achieves the proper taste and consistency. Strain the sauce through a fine mesh sieve into a hot sauté pan. Add some lemon juice. For added sheen, taste, and body, incorporate a small amount of soft butter. Classic sauces are often finished this way. It is a technique called monté au vert in French. Add sliced bone marrow for a true bordelaise. Sauce bordelaise and entrecôte seem like natural partners. Here, Chef Rapp complements them with haricots verts and potatoes Anna, an excellent way to dress up demi-glace for presentation. 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces is just about the right amount of sauce for a dish like this. Another brown sauce which lends itself well to the making of small or derivative sauces is jus de veau lié. Jus de veau is a flavorful fortified brown veal stock. Lié means it is thickened with a pure starch like arrowroot, cornstarch, or potato starch. The mise en place consists of roasted veal bones, caramelized mirepoix and tomato paste, a sachet d'épices, and brown veal stock. The thickening agent the chef chooses is arrowroot, diluted with a cool liquid, a mixture called a slurry. Arrowroot has superior thickening properties, so you can use less, making it more efficient. It is also more stable, meaning it will hold the sauce together longer. First, simmer the vegetables, roasted bones, and meaty trim in the brown veal stock for 2.5 to 3 hours. This is the method by which the brown veal stock is fortified with additional flavor. Skim as necessary. An hour before straining, add the sachet d'épices. When the sauce is ready, remove the sachet and strain the sauce through a strainer to remove the solids, and then through cheesecloth. Bring the strained sauce to a boil. Add the slurry slowly so you can monitor its thickening action. In many establishments, the stock is held and thickened as needed. Chef Rapp now makes tournedos of beef with a forciere sauce. As with the other brown sauces, jus de veau lié can serve as the base sauce from which to make this small sauce. Season tournedos of beef and sauté them in clarified butter. Cook the meat and then place on a crouton on a plate. Sauté shallots, sliced mushrooms, here the chef uses morels, and diced potatoes. Then more salt and pepper and lardons of bacon. Place this mixture around the meat. Then deglaze the pan with jus de veau lié. Finish with butter, monté au vert. Sauce à la forcière, from the forest from which came the mushrooms. Spoon the sauce over the meat and vegetables, and sprinkle the whole plate with chives. A classic presentation. A sauce-making technique as old as dining is to use the drippings or fonds from roast as the foundation for a sauce for the meat from that roast. The French call it jus rôti. Chef Rapp will demonstrate the methods for producing these sauces from the rendered drippings. Au jus, jus lié, pan gravy. First, au jus. No thickening agent is added to the juices from a roast. Remove the cooked roast from the pan. Add mirepoix to the roasting pan and cook it over direct heat until it is browned and the drippings are reduced to a syrupy consistency. Degrease the pan by pouring off the fat. Now deglaze the drippings with brown stock or water. Dissolve all the brown bits. Be sure that the amount of liquid added will create enough sauce to accompany the number of portions cooked, approximately 2 ounces per serving. Simmer for about 5 minutes. Au jus is simply the drippings of a roast diluted with liquid, simmered with no added thickener. To transform au jus into julienne, deglaze the pan drippings with stock or water as you have seen, and incorporate a slurry. Strain it when ready. A typically enticing dish for this sauce would be roast strip loin julienne, served with potatoes, peas, and carrots. Another sauce thickened in a cooking vessel is called pan gravy. The thickening agent is flour instead of a pure starch like arrowroot. Chef Rapp will demonstrate how he makes a roast chicken with pan gravy. Remove the roasted chicken from the oven and the pan. Allow it to rest. On top of the stove, caramelize the mirepoix in the roasting pan. Form a roux by adding flour to the fat. Cook the roux to a pale color. Incorporate chicken stock, stirring until smooth. The stock should be cooler than the roux so they combine more easily. Simmer the gravy about 5 minutes, or until the proper consistency and flavor have been achieved. Strain the gravy through a fine mesh sieve. Season it to taste. Here, Chef Rapp gets the chicken ready for serving. He adds garlic mashed potatoes with fried garlic chips and a medley of roasted pearl onions, green beans, and carrots to create a warm, home-style dish. Another useful skill in sauce making is the making of glace de viande, which is French for meat glaze. Glace de viande carries intense concentrated flavor and serves many purposes. Glace can be made by reducing stock, but traditionally it was made by reducing remoulage. Remoulage, French for re-wetting, is the liquid produced by simmering bones a second time. Here Chef Rapp demonstrates how to make glace de viande from ground veal stock. Simmer the stock, skimming as needed. As the stock reduces, transfer it to smaller and smaller pots. Simmer until it can coat a spoon. Then strain it. Since glace de viande has many uses, having it stored and ready for use is a good idea. Put it in a cup for storage in the refrigerator, or freeze it in small portions. These are some of the uses of glace. If you reconstitute it with water, you have a stock with a slightly darker color. A piece of glace can serve the same function as one of the commercial bases. You may strengthen a stock, sauce, or pan gravy with a piece of glace, or even fortify a commercial base with it. As a glaze, glace de viande can be used to flavor a grilled meat, like this piece of beef. Glace de viande can also be a flavorful complement to a vegetable dish, such as with these sliced Jerusalem artichokes. Glace de viande is a good way to extend the use of stock, which is so time-consuming and labor-intensive to make. Holding and storing stocks and sauces safely is also an important component of sauce making. It is vital to follow all local regulations in order to guarantee the safety of your customers. The danger zone in which illness-causing pathogens thrive falls within 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. If the food remains in the zone for 2 hours or more, consider it unsafe. When you plan to refrigerate a sauce, first bring the temperature down before putting it away. One method is to lower the temperature in an ice bath within 2 hours. Stirring will accelerate the release of the heat. Refrigerate it when the temperature goes below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Common sense rules of cleanliness and safety and attention to detail should prevail in any kitchen environment. And fresh, good quality ingredients will always make your creations better, whether they are sauces or something else. As you have seen, the basic brown sauces lend themselves to a wide variety of applications. The brown sauces we have shown you, Espagnole, demi-glace, jus de voliere, and the variations of jus rôti, are from the classic repertoire of culinary arts. They are the source for innumerable variations and derivations. Experience will teach you not only technique, but taste. You will learn to judge quality and make the appropriate adjustments. Build from the basics. In other programs in this series, you may learn about the white sauces, velouté and bechamel, tomato sauce, and emulsified sauces like hollandaise, mayonnaise, and vinaigrette.